3.2 asks, what happens when a transversal crosses parallel lines? What special features show up? So we started with this diagram of two parallel lines with a transversal. We measured the angles and we saw this pattern, which makes sense. We see that vertical angles are congruent, but we also saw these other things. Corresponding angle pairs are congruent. Alternate interior angles are congruent. Alternate exterior angles are congruent, but consecutive interior are supplementary. Came up with 4 Postulate's theorems. Looks more complicated than it really is, and it says, you know what, if you have two parallel lines cut by a transversal, then the pairs of corresponding angles are congruent automatically. So if this hypothesis is true, if two parallel lines cut by a transversal, as it is in this picture, automatically guaranteed you can assume that the corresponding angles are congruent. Alright, we analyzed the diagram, measured, and came up with these other theorems. They're all basically the same. Corresponding alternate interior, alternate exterior angle pairs are congruent when you have parallel lines with a transversal. The only one that's different is the consecutive interiors. Those are supplementary. Alright, we did some examples. I also said, hey, you know what? Try and remember this picture that shows these 4 angles are the same and these 4 blue angles are the same. But ask yourself, why is this true? Alright, so you just don't want to memorize a picture and be a robot. You want to think about the properties, the theorems, the postulates, the facts, the evidence, and then think about what conclusions you can make. For example, we look at this example 2, and we see, alright, we got 2 parallel lines with a transversal. If you have 2 parallel lines with a transversal, then the consecutive interior angles are supplementary, which means that these 2 angles added together equals 180 degrees. So we write our equation to reflect what the story of the diagram, the geometry, is showing you. Solve for x, we answer the question. They want all the angle measures, so we must plug in and answer the question. Alright, so that was the basic idea of lesson 3.2. Hope that made sense, and take care.